Listen carefully. If you want to turn your life around, you must first be willing to burn the old you to the ground. You cannot drag your past self into your future and expect transformation. A man cannot become something new while protecting everything old. The moment you decide to rise into the life you are meant to live, you must declare war on every habit, belief, and identity that has kept you small. Most people never do this because they cling to familiarity. They keep the same friends who speak the same doubts. They keep the same routines that produce the same failures. They keep the same stories about why they are where they are. And then they wonder why their life does not change. You must understand your future is expensive. It will cost you your comfort. It will cost you your excuses. It will cost you the luxury of blaming anything outside of yourself. You must be willing to sacrifice the man you have been for the man you must become. This is not a gentle process. Transformation is not for the man who wants comfort more than freedom. It is for the man who is willing to stand in the fire and allow it to consume everything weak, dishonest, and undisciplined within him. Ask yourself this question right now. If I died today, would I be satisfied with the man I am? If the answer is no, then you must decide today that the old you dies here. Not tomorrow. Not when conditions are better. Now, you cannot negotiate with the old you. You cannot reason with him. You must destroy him. Because the old you will sabotage every step you take toward greatness. He will whisper in your mind when things get uncomfortable. Go back to the familiar. Stop pushing. Don't risk. Stay safe. That voice is not your ally. It is the voice of a man who has accepted mediocrity, and you cannot afford to listen to him. If you want to turn your life around, you must replace that voice with one that says, keep going, keep fighting, keep building. You were not born to be average. The process begins with brutal honesty. Look at your current results. They are the sum of your past decisions. Every dollar in your bank account, every pound on your body, every relationship you have or do not have, this is the mirror your life holds up to you. It is the truth of how you have been living. Do not look away from it. Do not soften it. See it for what it is. Then decide that it is no longer acceptable. Because nothing changes until what you tolerate becomes intolerable. From this point forward, you must adopt the mindset of a man under reconstruction. You are not here to patch holes. You are here to tear down and rebuild from the foundation up. And here is the foundation, your thoughts. Every man's life is built upon his thoughts. If those thoughts are weak, scattered, and negative, then his life will reflect that weakness. But if those thoughts are disciplined, directed, and empowered, then his life will reflect that power. The old you has been thinking in patterns that keep him stuck. He looks at opportunity and sees risk. He looks at obstacles and sees defeat. He looks at himself and sees someone limited by the past. The new you must think differently. He must look at opportunity and see possibility. He must look at obstacles and see the training ground for strength. He must look at himself and see a man in the process of becoming unstoppable. This is why burning the old you is so critical. You cannot simply add new thoughts on top of old beliefs. The old beliefs will poison them. You must destroy the old mental patterns completely and replace them with new ones through repetition and reinforcement. That means watching your mind with vigilance. The moment an old pattern of thought appears, you replace it immediately with a new one. No negotiation, no delay. You do this over and over until the old patterns have no room left to breathe. But thoughts alone will not transform you. They must be paired with action, and action must be immediate. The old you hesitated. He waited until he felt ready. He wanted certainty before he moved. That is why he failed. The new you understands that action creates clarity. Action creates momentum. Action creates the conditions for success. So from now on, you act quickly and decisively. You do not wait for permission. You do not wait for someone to believe in you. You move because you have decided that you are worth moving for. This is how you turn your life around. You train yourself to act in alignment with the man you want to become, not the man you have been. Your environment will need to change too. You cannot live in the same conditions and expect a new life. The old you surrounded himself with distractions, negativity, and comfort traps. The new you surrounds himself with discipline, inspiration, and challenge. Go through your life right now and remove anything that feeds the old you. Clear your space. Change your routines. If necessary, distance yourself from people who keep you chained to the past. This will not be easy. But if you truly want to turn your life around, you must be willing to lose people, habits, and comforts that no longer fit the man you are becoming. And here is the truth you must accept. The old you will try to return. He will appear in moments of weakness. He will tempt you when progress feels slow. He will try to convince you that nothing has really changed. That is when you must burn him again and again until there is nothing left but the man you have chosen to be. You must hold yourself to a higher standard than anyone else does. Do not wait for accountability. Become your own judge, your own critic, and your own coach. Set your standards and refuse to drop them for anyone or anything. Every day, remind yourself, I am not going back. I am not negotiating with the old me. I am building a new man, one choice, one action, one day at a time. This is not a short-term burst of motivation. This is a permanent shift in identity. You do not try to be disciplined. You are disciplined. You do not try to be focused. You are focused. You do not try to be strong. You are strong. This is who you are now. And every action you take must reinforce this new identity. Yes, you will face resistance. Yes, there will be days when quitting feels easier. But the man you are building does not quit. He may adjust his approach. He may slow down to strategize. But he never stops moving toward the life he is creating because he knows no one is coming to save him. No one is coming to hand him a new life. It is his responsibility alone to burn the old and build the new. The sooner you accept this truth, the sooner your transformation will accelerate. So today, you decide. You decide that the old you is dead. You decide that the man you are becoming will be forged in discipline, clarity, and relentless forward motion. And you decide that no matter how long it takes, you will not stop until your life reflects the man you have chosen to become. This is how you turn your life around. This is how you burn the old you. And this is how you step into the life you were born to live. When you commit to burning the old you, you will find that the battle is not only external, but more intensely internal. You can change your clothes, your job, your surroundings, and your company, but until you have altered the core beliefs that live in your mind, the old you will reappear in disguise. He will dress himself in new goals, but think in the same defeated way. If you truly want to rebuild your life, you must go into the deepest recesses of your mind and evict every lie you've believed about yourself. every limitation, every doubt, every excuse, it all has to be burned. One of the greatest errors men make is believing that they can transform their life while holding on to fragments of their old self just in case. They treat transformation as though it were an experiment they can abandon when the discomfort gets too real. That is why they fail. There can be no just in case. You either destroy the old identity completely or you live in its shadow forever. You may have heard me say before that nature abhors a vacuum. When you burn the old beliefs, you must replace them instantly with new, empowered beliefs, or else the old ones will rush back to fill the space. This is why you must live with intention every single day. You cannot afford to wake up and hope that life will guide you in the right direction. The man who builds a new life takes command of his day before the day begins. I suggest this. Each morning, before you allow the world to touch your mind, decide exactly who you will be today. Write it down. Speak it out loud. See yourself moving through the day as that man. This is how you begin to install the new self so deeply that it becomes your default. The old you lived in reaction. He let his mood be decided by circumstances. He let his energy be dictated by other people's opinions. The new you lives in creation. He decides how he will feel. He decides how he will act. He decides how his day will go, and he enforces that decision with discipline. Do not underestimate the power of daily decisions. Your transformation is not one big event. It is the accumulation of thousands of small decisions in favor of the new self. That means saying no to things that feel good now but cost you later. It means saying yes to things that cost you now but build you later. Every choice is a brick. Every day, you are either building the new structure or rebuilding the old ruin. There is no neutral ground. And here is the truth. The first phase of transformation is not about gaining. It is about losing. Losing the comfort of old habits. Losing the approval of people who like the weaker version of you. Losing the false sense of safety that comes from doing what you've always done. Most people cannot handle this loss, so they run back to the old self. They confuse the pain of growth with the pain of danger, when in reality, it is the pain of being reborn. Understand this. There is nothing dangerous about burning the old you. The danger lies in keeping him alive, because the longer you keep him, the deeper he roots himself into your life, and the harder he becomes to remove. When you start changing, your world will resist. People will question you. They will say you've changed, as if that is a crime. They will remind you of your past mistakes, trying to pull you back into the identity they are comfortable with. Do not let them. These people are not all malicious. Some are simply afraid. Your growth confronts them with their own stagnation. If you can change, it means they could too, but that would require burning their old self, and they may not be ready. You are not responsible for their readiness. You are responsible for your own transformation. This means you must master the art of detachment. Detachment from the need for approval. Detachment from the opinions of others. Detachment from the fear of being misunderstood. The old you wanted to be liked by everyone. The new you seeks to be respected by himself first. And to earn that respect, you must live in alignment with the man you say you are becoming. There is no point in calling yourself disciplined if your actions are sloppy. There is no point in calling yourself focused if you spend your time scattered. There is no point in calling yourself committed if you retreat at the first sign of difficulty. The new you demands proof from yourself daily, and the proof is in action. Take inventory of your day every night. Did you live as the man you are building? or did you slip into the patterns of the old self? If you slipped, don't hide from it. Confront it. Identify the moment you lost control and decide how you will handle it differently tomorrow. You are in training, and in training, mistakes are not failure, they are feedback. But here's the key. You must correct them immediately. If you let the old patterns linger, they will rebuild themselves. This is why burning the old you is not a one-time act. It is a continual process. You may burn him today, but he will try to rise from the ashes tomorrow. You must be ready to strike the match again. Think of it as forging steel. The metal must be heated, hammered, cooled, and heated again until it reaches the strength required. So it is with you. You must go through cycles of burning, building, and refining until there is no weakness left in your structure. One of the fastest ways to accelerate this process is to set extreme standards for yourself. Do not aim for better than before. Aim for unrecognizable. Aim for so transformed that even your own mind is shocked at who you have become. And here is something most men miss. You cannot turn your life around without turning around your relationship with pain. The old you avoided pain. He ran from it. He saw it as a signal to stop. The new you understands that pain is the toll you pay for crossing into a higher version of yourself. The gym will hurt. Discipline will hurt. Early mornings will hurt. Saying no when you want to say yes will hurt. But every bit of this pain is fuel. It is burning away the man who was too weak to carry your destiny. Learn to welcome it. Learn to expect it. When pain comes, say to yourself, "This is the cost of my new life, and I am willing to pay it." Because when you stop fearing pain, you become dangerous. The old you was easy to break. Just add discomfort, and he would quit. The new you cannot be broken because he sees discomfort as proof that he is on the right path. And here is the secret. The moment you stop resisting the fire, it stops feeling like destruction and starts feeling like transformation. When the flames rise, you do not run. You stand in them, knowing that every second in the fire is burning away weakness, fear, and doubt. This is why most men never truly turn their life around. They run from the very thing that would make them strong. Not you. Not anymore. You have decided. The old you is gone, and every day you will prove it. Not with words, but with action so consistent, so relentless that no one, not even you, can question who you have become. Burn the old you. Build the new you. And never stop refining the man in the mirror until he is worthy of the life you are creating. Once you have committed to burning the old you, you must accept that this commitment is not for a season, it is for life. Transformation is not a phase, it is a permanent condition of growth. The moment you believe you are finished, you begin to decay. You see, life is not static. You are either advancing or retreating. There is no such thing as holding your ground in the arena of personal growth. Every day you are faced with choices that either reinforce the man you are becoming or resurrect the man you once were. If you are serious about never going back, you must develop an inner vigilance. You must guard your thoughts as a fortress guards its gates, for it is through thought that the old you will attempt to sneak back in. The old self will not knock on the door and announce his arrival. He will creep in quietly, disguised as a familiar habit, a harmless indulgence, or a comforting excuse. You must recognize him instantly. This recognition is a skill. You train it by studying yourself. Watch your reactions. Observe your patterns. Know what triggers your laziness, your self-doubt, your anger. For when you know the enemy's tactics, you can counter them before they take root. The man who truly turns his life around becomes his own strictest observer. He does not excuse himself simply because others cannot see his weakness. He knows that the danger is not in public failure, but in private compromise. If you lie to yourself in the dark, it is only a matter of time before the truth appears in the light. Discipline, therefore, must become your constant companion. And I am not speaking of discipline as the world defines it, forcing yourself to do what you dislike. I am speaking of discipline as the highest form of self-respect. When you respect yourself, you refuse to tolerate behavior that destroys your potential. You refuse to engage in habits that weaken you. You refuse to waste time on pursuits that have no bearing on your purpose. This is why, once you have burned the old you, you must immediately construct an environment that supports the new you. Your environment is the soil in which your new self will grow. If you plant a seed in fertile soil and tend to it daily, it will thrive. But if you plant it among weeds and leave it unattended, it will be choked to death. Your environment consists of everything that influences your mind. Your home, your workplace, your friends, the books you read, the voices you listen to. Every one of these either feeds your transformation or feeds your regression. Be ruthless about this. Remove anything that belongs to the old self. This may mean decluttering your home of possessions that remind you of your past failures. It may mean ending friendships that revolve around complaining, gossip, or mediocrity. It may mean turning off the entertainment that numbs your ambition and replacing it with education that sharpens your vision. Every small change in your environment is a declaration to yourself. The old me does not live here anymore. And as your environment changes, your standards must rise. Do not aim merely to avoid the habits of the old you. Aim to create habits so powerful that they pull you forward without effort. Imagine waking each day in an environment that makes it easier to succeed than to fail. Your surroundings should make your goals feel natural. Your habits should make excellence automatic. This is how you make transformation irreversible, by making it the path of least resistance. But do not misunderstand me. While we seek to make the path smoother, we do not seek to make it softer. Growth requires challenge. Without resistance, you will stagnate. The old you thrived in ease. The new you grows stronger through deliberate discomfort. That means you must not only accept challenge, you must create it. Set goals that demand more from you than you think you can give. Push yourself into arenas where you are unprepared, for that is where you will discover the strength you did not know you possessed. There will be times when this feels unbearable. You will question why you began. You will wonder if you have destroyed the old you only to suffer in the new. This is when you must remember that pain is not the signal to stop, it is the signal to keep going. Pain is the confirmation that you are stretching beyond the limits of the man you used to be. In these moments, lean into the vision that drove you to start this transformation. The old you had no vision, only survival. The new you has purpose, and purpose is a far greater fuel than comfort. Hold this truth. Comfort never changed a man's life, but conviction always does. And your conviction must be unshakable. The man who wavers will always be tempted back to his former self. The man who decides once and for all never looks back. When doubt enters your mind, answer it immediately. Replace it with the clear memory of why you burned the old you in the first place. Remember the pain of living beneath your potential. Remember the shame of letting yourself down. Remember the nights you promised yourself that if you could just get another chance, you would never waste it. This is that chance. This is that moment. If you let it pass, you may not get another. Understand that opportunity is a living thing. It favors the man in motion. It runs from the man who hesitates. The old you hesitated. The new you moves. Do not wait for the perfect plan, the perfect timing, or the perfect conditions. Those are the tools of procrastination disguised as preparation. Start now. Build momentum. Make adjustments as you go. And here is the truth the old you never grasped. Consistency is more powerful than intensity. Burning the old self is a decisive act, but building the new self is a daily one. You will not turn your life around in one leap. You will turn it around in the quiet, unseen hours when you choose discipline over distraction. Consistency is what makes transformation permanent. It is the act of proving day after day that the old you is gone for good. And when you have lived in this way long enough, something remarkable happens. You stop thinking about transformation entirely, because the new self becomes who you are, not who you are trying to be. That is the moment you know you have truly burned the old you. He's not hiding in the shadows. He is not waiting to return. He is gone. And in his place stands a man who cannot be bought by comfort, broken by failure, or swayed by the opinions of others. This is the man you were meant to become all along. Do not stop now. The fire still burns, and there is more of the old self yet to destroy. For every weakness you remove, another layer of strength will appear. You have turned your back on who you were. Now keep walking forward until the distance between you and the old self is so great that you cannot even see his outline. That is the work. That is the way. There comes a point in every true transformation when you realize that the work is no longer about escaping the old you. It is about building a life so rich, so meaningful, so powerful, that you could never even imagine returning to who you once were. By now, you have burned the bridges to your past. You have stripped away the excuses, the comforts, the patterns that held you prisoner. You have tasted the strength that comes from discipline, the pride that comes from keeping promises to yourself, the quiet power of moving forward when no one is watching. But if you stop here, you will plateau. And a plateau is dangerous, for it is the breeding ground of complacency, the very force that gave life to the old you. Your mission now is not simply to avoid regression. It is to rise so high that the air itself becomes too thin for the old self to breathe. This requires a deeper level of self-mastery. You see, turning your life around is not just about what you do. It is about who you become in every thought, every action, every interaction. The man who has truly burned the old self carries himself differently. He speaks with purpose. He moves with intention. His very presence communicates strength, focus, and direction. To reach this level, you must bring every part of your life into alignment with your new identity. Start with your standards. Whatever you once accepted as good enough must now be unacceptable. Whatever you once considered too much effort must now be your bare minimum. The old you settled for average. The new you demands excellence, and not just in the big visible things, but in the smallest details. Excellence is not an act. It is a habit. It shows up in the way you dress, the way you organize your work, the way you speak to others, the way you take care of your health. It is in the way you prepare for your day before the world is even awake. When you operate with high standards in every area, you develop a consistency of character that cannot be shaken by circumstance. And here is the truth. People respond to that consistency. They trust it. They are drawn to it. The man who commands himself effortlessly commands respect from others. But understand this. Respect is not given freely. It is earned daily. If you want to live at this level, you must also eliminate every crack in your character. The old self thrived in those cracks, those small compromises, those moments of dishonesty, those times when you acted against your own values because it was easier. The new self cannot afford such weakness. You must operate as if every choice you make is a public declaration of who you are. Because in truth it is. If not to the world, then to your own subconscious. And your subconscious is always watching. It remembers every broken promise, every delayed action, every time you said tomorrow and meant never. If you wish to become unstoppable, you must train your mind to associate your identity with follow-through. You must become the man who does what he says every time without exception. This is where most people fail. They believe transformation is about intensity, one grand act, one moment of courage, one powerful declaration. But I tell you, transformation is about consistency. 1,000 small acts of integrity will build a stronger foundation than one dramatic leap of faith. Do not confuse excitement with commitment. Excitement fades. Commitment endures. That is why you must replace motivation with discipline. Motivation is a spark. It will start the fire, but it will not keep it burning through the night. Discipline is the fuel. And here is the paradox. The more you rely on discipline, the less you will need to force it. In time, discipline becomes automatic. It becomes your nature. This is the final stage of transformation, when the new you no longer feels like effort. It feels like instinct. But to reach that stage, you must go through the crucible. You must continue to choose the hard thing, the uncomfortable thing, the thing that challenges the old patterns in you. And you must do this even when no one would blame you for quitting. There will be days when life strikes you with unexpected blows, loss, failure, betrayal, hardship. The old self would have collapsed under these weights. The new self must see them as the very resistance that strengthens your steel. Every challenge is a test. Do you still stand by your new identity when it's inconvenient? When it's painful? When it costs you more than you thought you could pay? If the answer is yes, if you stand firm in your principles when the wind is strongest, then you have truly left the old you in ashes. You see, the goal of this journey is not to remove all struggle. It is to make you so strong that no struggle can remove you. Once you reach this point, something remarkable happens. Life stops feeling like it is happening to you and starts feeling like it is happening through you. You stop waiting for circumstances to favor you because you have learned to create your own. You stop seeking permission from the world because you have given yourself permission to act. You stop fearing the unknown because you have learned that you can adapt, survive, and thrive in any environment. This is freedom. The freedom the old you never knew existed. But do not mistake freedom for ease. Freedom demands responsibility. When you realize that no one is coming to save you, you also realize that no one is coming to stop you. You alone are the author of your life. And if you are the author, then write something worth reading. Write a life that would inspire even the man you have become. This is why burning the old self is not enough. You must continually renew the fire. You must live in a state of daily renewal, shedding whatever no longer serves your highest purpose. At times, you will find remnants of the old self buried deep within you, an outdated belief, a hidden fear, a small habit of weakness. Do not be discouraged when you find these. They are not signs of failure. They are invitations to rise even higher. The man who truly transforms never stops transforming. So keep burning. Keep building. Keep becoming. Do not wait for the world to validate you. Do not wait for applause, recognition, or agreement. The moment you tie your transformation to the approval of others, you hand them the power to undo it. Stand alone if you must. Walk the road no one else will walk. Speak the truth no one else will speak. Do the work no one else will do. The old you could not do this. The new you must. And when you live this way long enough, you will reach a place few men ever reach, a place where you no longer fear losing everything, because you know you have the power to rebuild it all from nothing. That is true power. That is unshakable confidence. That is the reward for burning the old you to the ground and building a life of discipline, strength, and purpose in its place. So I leave you with this. Burn the old you without hesitation. Build the new you without compromise. And live in such a way that if the man you used to be were to look at the man you are now, he would not even recognize himself. This is your life. This is your time. And no one can live it for you.